Celebrations erupting across the globe after Iran's supreme leader was killed as part of Operation Epic Fury, giving Iranians new hope for their future.
Our next guest is among those who are celebrating, but is still waiting to hear from her family back in Iran. Iranian-American journalist and senior political correspondent for the Daily Mail, Alina Shirazi, joins us now. Alina, thank you so much for joining us. We just showed you celebrations taking place in New York City, Minneapolis, cities that typically don't celebrate anything that President Trump does. But in this case, there's also celebrations in Los Angeles and a banner flying thanking President Trump for what he did from the Iranian people. That's getting a lot of attention. There's also a lot of hesitation when it comes to next steps, and I'm sure you're feeling both. Tell us a little bit about how you are reacting to this. And of course, we mentioned that you do have family inside Iran. Have you heard from any of them?
Yeah, Todd and Carly, thank you so much for having me. I mean, Iranians truly have felt isolated and alone from the rest of the world for so long. And to now be thrown this lifeline is so important for them. And the sense of freedom is intoxicating for so many. As you mentioned, you just saw pictures of my family pre-1979 revolution in Iran. Both of my parents fled a war zone in 1979. My father was on the last flight out of Iran to America on Pan American Air. My mother fled a war zone. She would fall asleep to the sound of bullets at night, not knowing if the military would make their way into their home, not knowing what would happen. And so these are the stories that essentially I grew up on. And of course, I've been able to contact a lot of Iranians during this time. I speak the language and really trying to use my platform to be able to connect with them despite this blackout and censorship that is still happening throughout the country. And a lot of Iranians are telling me, to your point, that they are overjoyed. They are thrilled. They are taking to the streets. You showed some videos here in the U.S., but in Iran, I've been sent videos of people cheering. They're creating blockades. And I'm even hearing reports from inside the country that Iranians are saying that the military has actually somewhat dissipated. Oh, wow. And that's not something that we have seen. So that is a huge development here. There's actually a message that I received that really stuck with me here that not only shows what's happening on the ground, but the resolve of the Iranian people moving forward when you ask what it is that Iranians want. One Iranian told me they're still hiding in the shadows, referring to the military. What's left of them, that is. We have not seen them. Are they afraid of us? Good. No. They should be. That sent chills down my spine. We saw back in January that Iranians, they are willing to die for their freedom. So anyone who questions the resolve of the Iranian people and what comes next should be reminded of what happened last month. And mind you, people saying that President Trump, the administration started this is something that the Iranian people wanted. This happened in the bazaars. This happened with the business people, all protesting over their collapsing economy and the failing cost of the rial, their currency. So this is something that was started by the people, right. And I believe that we will continue to see that.
Alina, we have literally like 10 seconds left. Do you expect the Iranian people, in light of what you just said, to actually overthrow the regime from the inside? And if so, how soon? Again, 10 seconds.
We have a very short time period to do this. There is an opposition leader, the exiled Crown Prince Reza Pahlavi. Yeah. He has said that he wants to lead the transition here in Iran. So a lot of Iranians have to get on the same page, yes, because there are different factions going on. But ultimately, they do want democracy.
Alina Shirazi, got to leave it there.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.